East of Eden is a novel by American author and Nobel Prize winner John Steinbeck. Published in September 1952, the work is regarded by many to be Steinbeck's most ambitious novel and by Steinbeck himself to be his magnum opus. Steinbeck stated about East of Eden, "It has everything in it I have been able to learn about my craft or profession in all these years," and later said, "I think everything else I have written has been, in a sense, practice for this." The novel was originally addressed to Steinbeck's young sons, Tom and John. Steinbeck wanted to describe the Salinas Valley for them in detail, the sights, sounds, smells, and colors. East of Eden brings to life the intricate details of two families, the Trasks and the Hamiltons, and their interwoven stories. The Hamilton family in the novel is said to be based on the real-life family of Samuel Hamilton, Steinbeck's maternal grandfather. A young John Steinbeck also appears briefly in the novel as a minor character. Let's begin with the story. Samuel Hamilton is a warm-hearted inventor and farmer. He and his wife Liza, immigrants from Ireland, raised their 9 children on a rough, infertile piece of land in the Salinas Valley. As the Hamilton children begin to grow up and leave home, a wealthy stranger, Adam Trask, purchases the best ranch in the valley. Adam's life is seen in a long, intricate flashback. We see his tumultuous childhood on a farm in Connecticut and the brutal treatment he endured from his younger but stronger half-brother, Charles. Adam and Charles's father, Cyrus, was a Union Civil War veteran who was wounded in his very first battle and unable, or perhaps unwilling, to return to service. He nonetheless becomes an expert armchair general who uses his intellectual knowledge of military affairs and wounded veteran status to become a military advisor in Washington, D.C. As a young man, Adam spent his time first in the military and then wandering the country. He was caught for vagrancy, escaped from a chain gang, and burgled a store for clothing to use as a disguise. Later, he wires Charles to request $100 to pay for his travels home. Adam later sends money to the store to pay for the clothes and damage. After Adam finally makes his way home to their farm, Charles reveals that Cyrus had died and left them an inheritance of $50,000 each. Charles is torn with fear that Cyrus did not come by the money honestly. A parallel story introduces a girl named Kathy Ames who grows up in a town not far from the brothers' family farm. Kathy is described as having a malformed soul. She is evil and delights in using and destroying people. She leaves home one evening after setting fire to her family's home, killing both of her parents. She becomes a whoremaster's mistress, but he beats her viciously upon realizing that she is using him and leaves her to die on Adam and Charles's doorstep. Charles sees through Kathy's facade, but Adam falls obsessively and irrationally in love and marries her. However, unbeknownst to Adam, Kathy seduces Charles at the time of her marriage and falls pregnant with twins, leaving open the question of whether Adam or Charles is the twins' father. She attempts and fails at a primitive abortion with a knitting needle. Adam, newlywed and newly rich, now arrives in California and settles with the pregnant Kathy in the Salinas Valley near the Hamilton family ranch. Kathy neither wants to be a mother nor to stay in California. Though she warns Adam that she does not want to go to California and plans to leave as soon as she is able, Adam dismisses her, saying nonsense. Kathy gives birth to twin boys and attempts to leave shortly after. Adam tries to lock her in the bedroom to stop her. She convinces him to open the door, shoots him in the shoulder, and flees. Adam recovers but falls into a deep depression. He is roused out of it enough to name and raise his sons with the help of his Cantonese servant, Lee, and Samuel, who helps Adam name the boys Aaron and Caleb after characters in the Bible. Lee becomes a good friend and adopted family member. Lee, Adam, and Samuel have long philosophical talks, particularly about the story of Cain and Abel, which Lee maintains has been incorrectly translated in English-language Bibles. Lee tells about how his relatives in San Francisco, a group of Chinese scholars, spent 2 years studying Hebrew so that they might discover the moral of the Cain and Abel story. Their discovery that the Hebrew word timshel means thou mayest becomes an important symbol in the novel, meaning that mankind is neither compelled to pursue sainthood nor doomed to sin, but rather has the power to choose its path. Meanwhile, Kathy has become a prostitute at the most respectable brothel in the city of Salinas. She renames herself Kate Albee and embarks on a devious and successful plan to ingratiate herself with the madam, murder her, and inherit the business. She makes her new brothel infamous as a den of sexual sadism. Samuel finally dies of old age, but not before revealing his knowledge of Kathy's whereabouts. Hamilton is mourned by the entire town. After the funeral, Adam visits Kate at the brothel to determine for himself that Hamilton's disclosure of Kathy's new life is true. Adam realizes that this woman who runs the brothel is indeed his wife. Kate renounces him and the entire human race and shows him pictures of the brothel's customers, all pillars of the community. Adam finally sees her for what she is and pities her, leaving Kate to hate him. Adam's sons, Caleb, Cal, and Aaron, echoing Cain and Abel, grow up oblivious of their mother's situation. They are opposites. Aaron is virtuous and dutiful, Cal wild and rebellious. At an early age, Aaron meets a girl, Aubrey Bacon, who is from a well-to-do family, and the two fall in love. Although there are rumors around town that Cal and Aaron's mother is not dead but is actually still in Salinas, the boys do not yet know that she is Kate. Inspired by Samuel's inventiveness, Adam starts an ill-fated business venture and loses almost all of the family fortune. The boys, particularly Aaron, are horrified that their father is now the town laughingstock and are mocked by their peers for his failure. As the boys reach the end of their school days, Cal decides to pursue a career in farming and Aaron goes to college to become an Episcopal priest. Cal, restless and tortured by guilt about his very human failings, shuns everyone around him and takes to wandering around town late at night. During one of these ramblings, he discovers that his mother is alive and the madam of a brothel. He goes to see her, and she spitefully tells him they are just alike. Cal replies that she is simply afraid and leaves. Cal decides to buy his father's love by going into business with Samuel's son Will, who is now a successful automobile dealer. Cal's plan is to make his father's money back, capitalizing on World War I by selling beans grown in the Salinas Valley to nations in Europe for a considerable premium. He succeeds beyond his wildest expectations and wraps up a gift of $15,000 in cash, which he plans to give to Adam at Thanksgiving. Aaron returns from Stanford University for the holiday. There is tension in the air because Aaron has not yet told their father that he intends to drop out of college. Rather than let Aaron steal the moment, Cal gives Adam the money at dinner, expecting his father to be proud of him. Adam refuses to accept it, however, and tells Cal to give it back to the poor farmers he exploited. Adam explains by saying, "I would have been so happy if you could have given me, well, what your brother has, pride in the thing he's doing, gladness in his progress. Money, even clean money, doesn't stack up with that." In a fit of rage and jealousy, Cal takes Aaron to see their mother, knowing it will be a shock to him. Sure enough, Aaron immediately sees Kate for who she is and recoils from her in disgust. Racked with self-hatred, Kate signs her estate over to Aaron and commits suicide. Aaron, his idealistic worldview shattered, enlists in the army to fight in World War I. He is killed in battle in the last year of the war, and Adam suffers a stroke upon hearing the news from Lee. Cal, who began a relationship with Aaron's idealized girlfriend, Aubrey Bacon, after Aaron went to war, tries to convince her to run away with him. She instead persuades him to return home. Lee pleads with the bedridden and dying Adam to forgive his only remaining son. Adam responds by non-verbally indicating that he forgives Cal and then says Timshul, giving Cal the choice to break the cycle and conquer sin. East of Eden themes. The book explores themes of depravity, beneficence, love, the struggle for acceptance and greatness, the capacity for self-destruction, and of guilt and freedom. It ties these themes together with references to and many parallels with the biblical book of Genesis, especially the story of Cain and Abel. The title East of Eden was chosen by Steinbeck from Genesis, and Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden.
Please let us know you want more content like this by liking, subscribing, and sharing. Don't forget to hit the notification button so you don't miss a single post.